Hi there. So 18 months or so ago, I was the panel guest on a webinar, and the webinar topic was the future of self-storage technology. The host at the end of the webinar asked us all panel guests, one question. What are you most excited about or most looking forward to as a technology in the self-storage industry? My answer was, imagine if you could talk to your self-storage business using AI the same way you use your AI, your ChatGPT or your Claude account to find present ideas for your 5-year-old niece, or plan a romantic weekend in Dublin for you and your partner. Well, skip forward to today, and Storeganise, as of the recording of this video, is the first and only self-storage management software that enables you to do just that. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate exactly how you can elevate your operations by using AI to talk directly to your Storeganise data. You can ask questions, operational questions, such as, how many 10 by 10 units do I have available this month? You can ask it reporting questions like, create an end of month report for me so I can upload it into my SAP accounting platform. Or strategic prompts like, compare my sites side by side and tell me which one needs my attention. Okay, so before we jump into the live demo, let's just take a quick step back and understand how we got here, and also, what's enabled us to get to where we are today. So at Storeganise, we are introducing the AI connector, and essentially you can think of the AI connector as a middleware. It's a middleman. It's a bridge essentially that's going to connect your operating system, which in our case we call the management portal for those not familiar with the Storeganise ecosystem. Imagine now that there's a bridge from your local AI platform, whether you use ChatGPT, Claude, and you can talk directly to your self-storage business data. Okay, it's going to be a read-only connection, so only one way. Essentially, for those less technical, it's an MCP server. We don't have to go too much into the details, but it kind of explains here that it's a helpful middleman that securely connects your AI assistant to outside tools, like in this case, your Storeganise data. So it allows you to do more useful things with the data in a current system, right? So it's a live data connection. One of the reasons we were able to be first to market with this particular product is that we are API first. When we started at Storeganise from the very early days, we were built on top of the API. So essentially it means that the flexibility from the outset and the open infrastructure has enabled us to easily connect your local AI platform with Storeganise, and we're going to show you how to do that now. Okay, so what does it essentially mean for you? It means that you can communicate, you can have a conversation with your business, your self-storage business, right? So you can ask questions, you can be more dynamic, and you can kind of uncover things that you wouldn't necessarily normally uncover from a reporting dashboard, right? And let's go into some of those examples now. Okay, great. So in this example, we're going to connect our Space Up, which is a demo environment that we have, which has 4 sites. It's not an active self-storage business, and we're going to connect it to Claude. Okay, so here we are. We have 4 sites managed within this management portal, and let's open up our Claude. Okay, and so let's start connecting the Claude account to our Storeganise via the MCP, which is the terminology I explained earlier. Okay, so we want to come into our main settings here, into connectors. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to connect our Storeganise MCP server here. Okay, now there is some configuration and setup which we're going to document in our help docs and publish on our help library. Okay, so now Claude is talking, or it is reading the data available in this particular instance, right? This management portal. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's start creating some questions and seeing if it works. Right, so what we want to do is let's just double check, how many sites do I have? Okay, and let's just double check that it is working. Okay, so it's reading the site list, site information. Okay, and here we go. So now we've got the validation that the connection is working. So from here we can start to communicate, and let's have a conversation with our data and see what comes up. Okay, so here's where we can be a bit creative, and for the sake of the demo, I've prepared a few questions. So let's just start with Please can you break down my 4 sites and tell me which are the best performing sites? All right. Okay. Now, we have started to pull together a list of prompts broken down by reporting, operations, strategy, and yeah, and so we're going to be sharing that as we go. But yeah, we would love to hear your recommendations in this area. We can see here that it's been thinking and it's already started to break down the total revenue, total occupancy, split by the 4 sites. Okay, got some nice visuals here as well, and it's ranking them by highest revenue, best occupancy rate. It's given some nice kind of tags, labels to these here as well. Okay, so Sunset Park is my site that needs the most attention. Okay, so again, this is really interesting information. I've got my best performing sites, my mid-tier, and then my underperforming Sunset Park. So we could just dive into Sunset Park and maybe ask it why it's underperforming. Okay, so now we've got to a point where Claude is going to ask us for permission to access certain files in Storeganise. So I'm going to say always allow just for the sake of the demo. And yeah, that's a, a nice security question there because obviously there's sensitive data that it's requesting permission to access. Okay, so here it's saying that we've got severely limited unit inventory. Most of it's gone. The site has only 5 unit types. Have 0 units configured. Okay, so I need to go in and start playing around with some of my unit type information, features, categories, configurations, maybe create some custom fields around that for more customized workflows. Okay, online booking is disabled. So it's really intuitive, right? And it's starting to pick out some interesting insights here. Um, okay, so from here, I'm going to ask another question that I had prepared, which is which unit types are performing best across all sites? Compare occupancy rates and pricing for each type. Are there any unit types with low demand I should consider repricing? Okay, so it's more of a strategic revenue management question here, and it's going to pull out all the data and it might ask me again for some permissions. We'll see. One thing I quite like about Claude is that it's very good at playing back to you the sources that it is pulling the data from. They've done a really good job more recently in the visualizations. The tables that you can create are extremely accurate and extremely well laid out. But you can see here that it's just given me really nice breakdowns of my occupancy. I like the fact that it's picking out my star units here with 90% occupancy at 150. This might be a factor to prompt me to kind of scale up based on this information. Yeah, so I didn't realize that maybe my 10 by 10s are actually hidden from the customer portal, so they're unavailable to be booked right now. And we can see winners, overpriced and underperforming. My 5 by 5 central sites, both sites are sitting with 30-40% occupancy. Okay, so I've got some revenue management tips here. And also there's a watch list. So my 10 by 10s, it's saying no dynamic pricing is configured, right? So maybe I could action implementing dynamic pricing for that particular unit type. Out of curiosity, I want to say, what advice would you give me to increase occupancy of my 10 by 20s at, say, Spring Valley? So this is another good example of how the depth in which you're communicating with your business. Um, this isn't something that you would get from a static report or export from your PMS. Okay. So off the bat here, it's saying that my 300 a month 10 by 20s, they're dynamically priced all the way down to 255, and they're still struggling. So consider dropping the price to 229, 249 for the first 3 months as an introductory rate, and then stepping back and seeing what happens. Great. That's an actionable kind of pricing strategy I could implement today. add promotions, annotations, right? Yeah, so in Storeganise, you can add certain annotations to unit types, get them selling faster, more like e-commerce led, selling fast. That's not applied on these particular unit types. Add a free move-in service. Okay, so there's some really interesting options here for me and my staff to implement. Okay, right. So now, from an operation perspective, let's just say I want to. I'm an operations manager, and I just want to know all the move-ins this week. So let's see what the AI reads from Storeganise for this and how it. Okay, it's asked me for permission again. Okay, 9 move-ins this week. I'd like to see how it visualizes this actually. It's building a weekly summary, matching move-ins to customers. Right, so that's taken less than a minute. And here I've got a full list of all my move-ins this week. I could potentially ask this to export this in an Excel so I can plug that into my email or send it on to another contractor. Let's try and push it a little bit more. Let's go into maybe some more invoicing related questions now. Before I'm going to ask it about my outstanding invoices, I'm going to do one last operational question, which is give me a quick operational snapshot. How many units are available, occupied, overdue, and locked across all sites right now? So maybe your different roles in your organization are going to be interacting with this in very different ways. And someone who's maybe got a meeting with their investors and they need a snapshot of the occupancy and revenue and best performing sites, they can easily download that report and send that. Whereas someone who's in operations more day to day, they're the ones that are going to be interacting in a very different way with this. Okay, so as I'm talking, it's already building out all my available units, occupied, overdue. I'm going to dig into that overdue number now. I have 25 overdue units network wide. 15 of its 49 active units are past due. Okay, 3 are overlocked. Okay, so let's ask about those overdue invoices then. List my outstanding invoices and provide a breakdown of the overdue units. I'd like to know how long they have been in arrears. Okay, this might take a little bit longer, mainly down to the fact that we're using a demo environment here, which we've been using as a demo environment quite a long time. So there are lots of invoices, but that's good. That's a real life situation, right? If you're an established Storeganise user or established business, then you will have a lot of invoices. It's an invoicing platform to a certain degree. So, you know, let's see. Oh, it hasn't actually taken as long as I thought. So you'll see here that there's an outstanding invoice from 2022 overlocked. Okay, so maybe I could plug those into some form of lien process, some form of kind of legal proceedings, if not already. And again, it's broken down here, the immediate priorities, critical arrears. So the most serious cases are the two customers at Sunset Park and Vegas Strip. How much they owe, and again, I'm always enjoying the fact that there are quick actions to consider. There are recommendations, right? With AI, there's often always a follow up that is prompted for you to, continue the conversation. Okay, so a big thing is pricing strategies, revenue management. So before I jump into that, I wanted to just ask, what can I do to increase occupancy based on my move-ins and move-outs? I want to start getting some of these recommendations going a bit further. It's breaking down here all my monthly move-ins, move-outs. Again, you'll see that the visuals here are really, really quite incredible on what the data is telling us. Okay, so here we've now got some action. So the bulk move-outs are your biggest concern. Okay, so this is interesting. This is a demo environment. We did an internal cleanup of this account and we did a huge bulk move out process. So it's picked up that information, right? Because yeah, we use it for demos. There was always full occupancy. We needed to just do one big bulk move out, and that's what it's picked up on. And it's seen that as a critical problem as an operating business, which is really interesting. Move-in momentum is strong. Great. That means we're still doing lots of demos because we'd use that for demos and do move-ins. And there's zero activity So often, yeah, in this, it's true that in this particular instance, the central site tends to get the majority of the movement, whereas these Vegas Strip and Sunset Park, it's true they don't get much momentum. So it's also picked up a seasonal sign here, right? So so it's picked out that in certain times of the year we're getting a concentration of churn. Again, really interesting. Okay. Right. So again, it's summarized this as one of my biggest issues is that the churn problem isn't an organic attrition, it's bulk move out events, right? Based on that big move out event that we did in February last month or 2 months ago. Okay. So again, super interesting. So now we're going to ask it more about revenue management and a pricing strategy. So what pricing strategy would you consider for my most underperforming site? It's saying, and this is going back a little bit to the previous thread, it's saying to add inventory at a certain price bracket, right, for these two unit types, reduce the price of my 10 by 20, phase pricing rollout. This is just great, isn't it? I mean, now 8 weeks, 8 to 16 weeks, 16 weeks recover margin. It's given me a breakdown here. Okay, so it's saying for my one of my settings for my online booking is enable auto confirm and auto charge immediately. Do this today. This is an immediate action. So in Storeganise from the customer portal, you can scale up your automations. You can go fully automated on the online move-ins, or you can have more control by playing with those levers, those automation settings. So here it's saying that they're not all enabled. If you fully enable them today, it might increase bookings, right? So I've got a meeting coming up with my marketing or sales team. Create 3 action points for my, let's say, sales and marketing team to help drive more bookings. Again, you could have just given your sales and marketing team access to Claude and they could have done this themselves. So we've got a reactivation campaign strategy here. Okay, and it's saying you can run geo-targeted meta ads within a 3 to 5 radius of the address of Sunset Park. In this case, it's Las Vegas. We have the upgrade and refer programs, activate a retention campaign for all sites ahead of the November churn window. So it's kind of preempting a period of churn that we might be going into in a few quarters' time. One thing I'd be interested in is if it picks out information of competitors. I don't know whether it has access to this, but we can see. Okay, so I've just asked it. I paused because I'm a slow typer. So, do you have access to competitor self-storage businesses within a 3 to 5 mile radius? Um, can I benchmark my pricing on and online booking strategy? Yes, I can search for nearby competitors using the Places tool. Let me look. So it's now picked out competitors within a radius of my business, and it's now breaking down revenue, pricing comparisons for all of the competitors within a 3 to 5 mile radius of me. Okay, so that is pretty useful, I think. And I think I'm going to end the demo there on that um, because this is pretty powerful, and I hope you agree. We are, this is live, this is ready to go. We are initially launching it to Storeganise users, obviously, a better group of Storeganise users. If you're interested, if you're not currently on Storeganise, please book a demo with us today. We've got plenty of, follow us on LinkedIn for all of our innovative updates. And yeah, we'll be happily to help and demo this live with you. If you've got any questions, just let us know whilst this continues thinking in the background and giving me lots of competitor pricing strategy information. Okay, cheers. Have a good day, everybody.